to say you're not going to use something. We wouldn't even use cash then, because cash is laundered all the time and used for nefarious That's all we've ever used for nefarious activities, and we certainly had plenty of them.
I don't think that's accurate at all. The cash is laundered all the time. We have the strongest AML system in the world. We just came back from FATF, where on a global basis, they've agreed to implement money laundering. I think, as you know, we use sanctions tools. So we combat bad actors in the U.S. dollar every day to protect the U.S. financial system. And what we're saying is
there's been a lot of nefarious activities historically, and it's never involved Bitcoin. So obviously, it's been pretty successfully done with cash. That's all I'm saying. Unless you think there has been.
I don't think it's been successfully done with cash. I'll push back on that. And we're going to make sure that Bitcoin doesn't become the equivalent to Swiss-numbered bank accounts, which were obviously a real risk to the financial system.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Saturday. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a great weekend so far. Now, I know that intro wasn't necessarily funny, but it was kind of funny. You have to admit that we have the Secretary of Treasury essentially saying that cash has never been used for nefarious purposes. Not only is that extremely ignorant, but it's actually a flat-out lie. But anyway, that being said, having a look at what is going on with Bitcoin, let's actually refresh this. Sometimes this number, nope, okay, $7,308 now. Currently, we do have Bitcoin trying to sort of push out right now. We're sort of tightening up, coiling up tighter and tighter. You can see right here, we actually got down to about $7,059. We tried to break out at around $7,341, and currently it does look like we are just sort of consolidating around this level, so could be totally different by the time you see this video. But guys, today I want to get through this rapid fire. I have one thing I want to go over in particular, and that is a lot of people starting to sort of get a little bit bullish, right? You're starting to hear some hopium. Maybe the bottom is in, right? Because we haven't really been doing much lately. The price has been actually kind of boring. So I want to talk about that moving forward. Could Bitcoin have potentially bottomed, and what could we be looking for in the short term to midterm? I also want to look at the macro picture as well and talk about the Bitcoin halving. There's a lot of people saying it's already priced in. Don't get your hopes up. We're not going to the moon this time. So I do want to look at a few different charts, and if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Crypto Zombie channel, well, we do this every single day. And guys, this week we do have a special. We're giving away 2 Ledger Nanos, the X and the S, to one lucky winner. If you're interested, drop a comment on any of the videos and you are eligible. Now, having a look, we do notice that Bitcoin dominance has pulled back 0.2%. So what does this mean? Well, it looks like some of the altcoins are actually outperforming Bitcoin today. In fact, just switching to the Bitcoin comparative, you'll notice there's a decent chunk of green in the altcoins today. And having a look at the gainers, we do have Basic Attention Token, Waves, Bitcoin Cash, Stratus, Dash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Diamond. All the Bitcoins are getting love today. Bytecoin, VeChain, and Hedge Trade. However, we still have very low volume, guys. Very low volume. Bitcoin looks like it's tightening up. Well, we could be looking for somewhat of a squeeze, somewhat of a move, right? So let's dive in. Let's have a look. Currently, guys, we only have 2 days until the end of the week. So, basically, we are looking to see if Bitcoin can finally get above this $7,521 level. Wouldn't really be that too big of a move. Really, we'd only have to go up, about 3% roughly. So it is a possibility that we finally close out with a weekly candle above this level we just can't seem to break out of. But short term, you can see we are getting very close to the end of this wedge. In fact, some people saying we've already broken out of it. You can see we are now respecting the support, the resistance flip support. So that is sort of good short term moving forward. But I was saying that we were looking for a potential breakout or big move December 31st. However, now that we sort of have had these fake outs to the downside and to the upside, if we actually extend this out a little bit, you could actually be looking for maybe something happening around January 20th, okay? Not saying that it has to go that long. We could have a major breakout, but keep in mind we are still in this descending wedge. So, even if Bitcoin was to break out all the way to $8,000 today, well, we still would not technically be out of the range. But I'm going to tell you what I'm looking at short term. So just stick with me, guys. I'll show you kind of where I think Bitcoin is probably going to move, within the next week or so. But having a look right here, you can see we are once again sitting above the VPVR, which is good. However, we're still sandwiched between the 2 major levels of the 7.4K level to the 6.8K level. So obviously, guys, by the time you watch this video, you're going to know what Bitcoin has done. Now, obviously, if we break out to the upside like this, we may have some difficulty at around the 7.4K level, and that may actually have us come all the way back down to about the $7,000 level. And if that doesn't hold us, well, then we could fall all the way down to the 6.8K level. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen exactly like that, but I would keep my eyes on these two major levels. And if we do start to get rejected, if we do even try to have that breakout, well, then 7.4K is going to be a very interesting level to keep our eyes on. If not, 7.8K would be the next level. You can see right here, we're still trying to break up. We did actually technically get rejected at around the $7,300 level. So like I said, guys, it would be possible to break out to 8,000. And believe it or not, even if we were to go all the way up to about, let's see where it would be, about 8,800, we would still be held down by this resistance. So we do have a long way to go. Obviously, long term, we're still looking for like that $10,000 Bitcoin, right? That's kind of like the ultimate, okay, we have the reversal type level. But I do want to point out one interesting thing that Scott Melker pointed out. And he said that after hitting 14K, each monthly candle had a large upper wick. He signaled that with blue, indicating strong selling on any rally. In October, the candle had equal wicks up and down. November and December, for now, have large lower wicks in red, indicating stronger buying on the dip. So it does seem that more people are instantly buying up these dips, right? Every time the price falls, it instantly gets bought back up. This is actually short-term, bullish. It shows that people are very confident at these levels, confident at these prices, right? Now, the other thing I wanted to mention was you could see, like he said, we are still technically putting in lower highs and also putting in lower lows, but I do want to point out the fact that right here on these past 2 months so far, November and December, we actually had two wicks that basically came down exactly to the VPVR at around 6,400. Now, you could even argue that potentially these are tweezer bottoms, right? Now, we know that tweezer patterns tend to be reversals. For example, if you have them at the bottom, well, now you're usually looking for a reversal to the upside. And if you get them at the top, well, then you're probably looking for a reversal going back down, right? Well, currently, having a look at this, it would appear that on the monthly, we have put in tweezer bottoms. I mean, give or take, what, $100 difference? I think that's close enough. So let me know what you guys think. That's number one. But, it's not everyone that is very optimistic about this potential bottom. Magic Poop Cannon says, Bitcoin and all of crypto are enormously deceptive right now. I see so many people claiming that the bottom is in. While it's true that we could see a quick relief rally, the bottom is not in. Bitcoin is in a massive ABC correction, and it should push Bitcoin near 3,000 or 1,000. Now, guys, on this channel, I have said I don't think we're going to go that low, but there was a possibility with the 200 weekly. We could see a $5,000 to $5,400 Bitcoin, but $3,000 to $1,000. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm going to drop a poll above, and I would appreciate it if you guys could let me know if you think that a $3,000 or even $1,000 Bitcoin is actually possible. For me, that seems a little extreme, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But, talking about some other things, for example, nearly 70% of all Bitcoin hasn't moved for over 6 months right here. You could see in the Bitcoin UTXO age distribution. Now, this is from Alistair Milne, and, he says the last time this, pretty much happened, we were approaching the 2016 halving, right? But so many people saying it's priced in this time. We're expecting it. It's not going to work. It's overhyped, right? That's what everyone's saying. The halving is going to be nothing like it was last time. Well, I just want to point out one tweet from Malik, which I do appreciate this. He says how Bitcoin halvings work and post-halving rallies have a lag following the event. So a lot of people think we're just going to hit this, halving event and Bitcoin's just going to skyrocket to the moon. But guys, having a look back here, you can see that's not what happens. In fact, it tends to be quite boring when Bitcoin hits the halving. Usually we go sideways. Even on some occasions we pulled down, right? Before having the major run up. So you can see right here, demand is at equilibrium with current available supply and flow. Number 2, Bitcoin halves. Number 3, demand instantly becomes eating into new coins and eventually depletes them. Number 4, demand then goes after existing supply. That's up for sale. Obviously, anyone that's not hodling, right? Number 5, as existing supply is also depleted, price begins to move upwards. 6, appreciation. Bitcoin price captures the greater market attention. Hence, your friends and family and people you haven't spoken to since high school start calling you up and asking about the old Bitcoin thing. And then finally, number 7, you have have the frenzy. So, he says he could see a lot of people saying, see, I told you nothing was going to happen. And guys, we're not expecting a massive blast off on the day of the halving. It simply represents a cycle. It doesn't represent an absolute catalyst for massive explosion. So we need to kind of clarify that a little bit moving forward, right? But I do want to give a shout out to KR Calopina, I think that's his name, over here on TradingView. Now, I came across this chart randomly while I was just being the crypto zombie, staying up late at night looking through all these different charts and stuff, and you can see he made a really good point that, if we look back here in this sort of 2013 peak, you could see that that's where the 2015 bottom actually tested that level, and he argues that this sort of $3,000, peak that we had, right here crawling up in the first sort of, actually it's more like the second third of 2017, it was actually tested by this bottom. So he is arguing that that could have been the bottom based on what has happened before. Obviously, previous performance doesn't indicate future results. But another thing interesting to look at is you can see down here, we actually did touch the RSI perfectly at this line, essentially at the bottom. And also he points out price capitulation levels here. And right here, literally, we have the dip, the RSI bottoms out, and then we touch the line just before the halving. And you can see, according to this, basically what we're doing, we had our dip at the low, and according to this chart, we're basically right on schedule. We're exactly where we should be. So for everybody freaking out about Bitcoin's price, yes, we did have a little bit of a crazy run up to 14K, and of course we had the dip before that to 3.2, but really, ultimately, Bitcoin is following a trajectory, and it's right on track for where it should be. It's just normal correction, guys. You can't have a 5x pump without a little bit of a pullback, right? So that being said, guys, I do want you to check out this really awesome Bitcoin game that this guy made. He calls it Satoshi versus the Shills. Just check this out. I thought this was super cool. So anyway, moving on, guys, just having some fun here. I do want to talk about some altcoin news. For example, Ripple is pushing for a rapid expansion in Brazil. The company is gearing up to announce new Brazilian banking partnerships early next year, according to a report from Reuters. However, granted that they are working with these banks, Santander Brazil, Bradesco, and Rendimento, they are still currently not really utilizing the XRP, right? Because there is a difference between X-Current and X-Rapid. And, guys, I'm just saying, obviously, to create demand for the token, you need to actually utilize the token, right? So I just wanted to kind of point that out moving forward, but I'm sure you guys know that by now. And obviously, it wouldn't be a crypto video this week without once again talking about the insane crypto purge. In fact, there's still, I think, a few crypto YouTubers as of today that don't have theirs back. I know this morning, Modern Investor got his back. I believe Chris Dunn finally got his back. I think Crypto, Martini guy, I think they're still waiting on their channels, which is just terrible that it's taking this long. But you can see right here, internet attorney and anti-bullying activist Andrew Rossow actually spoke with Cointelegraph a while ago, and he was talking about, these different platforms like DTube and Library. They do seem to be promising, but they're not sort of addressing this sort of thing. He says having a blockchain-enabled social media platform that is censorship resistant is good, right? But he says, keep in mind certain protections with respect to intellectual property, phishing scams, and other gray areas that do need to be considered. He also noted that although what YouTube did is technically legal, right? I mean, YouTube can technically ban anyone without any type of, rhyme or reason. That's sort of what you kind of set yourself up for when you join these platforms. He says, arguably, YouTube as a content provider has the authority and right to remove content if it feels it violates it, although it's not necessarily right. He says the crypto videos that were recently removed did not involve violent or political content or, harmful content for children, even applying to the FTC's recent guidelines with the COPPA compliance didn't seem to have much disarray. This incident, he says, is isolated and gives all content creators a reason to panic simply due to YouTube's ignorance. But guys, of course, I don't want to end on any bad news. Speaking of YouTube, there is this new YouTube, little mini documentary that came out, Vice on HBO. You could see inside the cryptocurrency revolution. You know, they have guys like Vitalik. Actually, Vitalik, there he is eating. He's eating a salad. Vitalik seems to play a pretty big role in this. But if you guys want to check this out, pretty cool. It's got almost 100,000 views already. I'll give it a like. I didn't actually watch it, but you know, anything pushing crypto out to the masses, I will take. And I do want to just end on one thing. You know, Bitcoin is now one of the largest decentralized networks in the world. On-chain metrics show Bitcoin blasted past several all-time highs, and it is setting fresh records in terms of transaction count, transaction volume, and hash rate, even though hash rate has sort of plateaued right now currently. But I do want to end on one thing that Andreas Antonopoulos said. He said that Bitcoin is still thriving despite its detractors. It is the story of something that refuses to die, that refuses to conform to expectations and narratives, that simply is every 10 minutes like a heartbeat of the internet continuing to operate reliably. And that, my friends, is a magical thing. And on that note, I'm definitely going to leave today because it is the weekend. I actually have a lot of stuff I got to get going to do. So that's why this video is coming out just a hair slightly earlier than usual. But that being said, guys, if you are interested in the double ledger pack, you can drop a comment. We will do that on Monday. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. Like I said, by the time you guys see this, the price could be totally different. Looks like it's trying to have like a little mini breakout right now. So maybe by the time you guys see this video, we'll have the breakout, or we may have the rejection. Right now is not exactly the greatest time to be trading. But that being said, guys, be safe out there. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. If you haven't got subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.